How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto, and today we are talking about Tron. It really is a big variable of 2018 when you take into consideration the expectations 2017 left us with as far as seeing Bitcoin in its all-time highs and various different bull runs that left us seeing really a lot of overall upward trajectory and the possible potential. And a lot of people went into 2018 with really high hopes. I think that Tron is really one of those cryptocurrencies that's lived up to the hype. There's really a great community that's developed itself around Tron, and it goes without questioning because you take into consideration the awesome team that's been working with Tron, and the vision that Tron has for the future, I think, is accurately placed in regards to the overall greater composition of how we can imagine the totality of civilization as it's been developing alongside this potential made available by decentralized platforms in regards to the greater basic foundation made possible by cryptocurrencies. And really, Tron is leveraging this sort of paradigm shift as it's been happening, and we're starting to see of course, we've recently had a successful mainnet launch involving Tron, and as we've been moving forward, we've been seeing a lot of various different components in regards to the strategy that Tron has been bringing out step by step. But when it comes to a technology in complexity as this space, you really have to take into consideration the understanding of Tron from a data perspective. And when I look at the roadmap of what's ahead for Tron, and I really just comprehend how these variables are going to send really shockwaves through the entirety of cryptocurrency, it is interesting to see how the news has been responding to Tron. And of course, when it comes down to it, I have a lot of faith in the founder of Tron, Justin Sun. I think he's sort of a celebrity among the cryptocurrency space and really one of those Mark Zuckerberg type of people. And that's not an insult, by the way. I mean that in a good way. I think that moving forward, we're going to see a lot of these different variables as far as the partnerships go with Tron. And yeah, I think that the Tron roadmap is really a interesting indication of what could be happening when you take into consideration 2019, of course, 2020. We're really seeing cryptocurrency becoming a main talking point in the public conversation that's been happening involving how the future is going to be moving forward. And of course, you need to take into consideration a multitude of variables like how many people are actually getting new smartphones and how many new devices are actually being connected to the internet every single day with the Internet of Things, with all these different variables. So ultimately, I think that we could really be expecting the cryptocurrency revolution. I mean, we really are very early in the space when it comes to seeing how these things have been developing. And of course, it is a step by step. It's very slow moving. And of course, that's why we always recommend that you should be doing your research when it comes to these things. But I certainly do have a lot of potential in store for the decentralized web. I think the future is ultimately, there's really no question it's going to be decentralized. But of course, make sure that you follow Tron on their official Twitter as well. And in the spirit of sharing different opinions, I'm actually going to be including a link to this video by DustyBC, which really goes into detail regarding Tron and the potential that's in store for it, as we've seen these various different components coming into alignment. And really, the month of June 2018 has really been a significant one in the history of Tron. And of course, the 31st was big with the mainnet launch. And of course, moving forward, I think that there's a lot of big things to be seen ahead. So definitely make sure that you guys are subscribed to this channel. I'll actually be including a link to this video in the description, so if you're interested, make sure that you check that out. But it is interesting to see how the news has been reacting, and of course giving Tron its day of publicity. And I think that this publicity is going to go a long way in regards to the popularity of the technology, which ultimately will trickle down. But of course you have to take into consideration how what these technologies are actually going to be doing in the real world, that's going to be having a lasting impact on the way that the way things are being done and carried out. And I think Tron is really one of those central figures when you take into consideration the potential that's in store for these technologies moving forward. And the future of the internet really is decentralized, and anybody who's paying attention to the way that trends have been unfolding, the decentralized platform is just fairly superior in a lot of ways. And I definitely have a lot of faith in Justin Sun. I have a lot of faith in the team that's working, involving themselves in bringing forth this platform that can provide media in a way that's ultimately unprecedented when you consider the entire history of the internet and the way that these things have been developing. We have websites that have been dominant in this space, like YouTube, for example, starting to approach their decline. Now, I love YouTube, and I'm not really looking forward to what's been occurring, but I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory when you take into consideration what's been happening involving the notification system and a lot of unsatisfied customers when it comes to a lot of these platforms. In particular, one that comes to mind is, of course, Facebook, and a lot of these old social media websites really going the way of MySpace. So when we see Tron, and lately what's been happening with Tron involving their successful mainnet, and of course the successful various different deals that have been happening involving Tron all the way down the line, it's really an exciting technology to be paying attention to, the way that they're leveraging cryptocurrency and moving forward into a way that's really establishing a roadmap that's going to, I mean, when you take a look at the Tron roadmap, it really is interesting where we are in the context of 2018, especially taking into consideration the market cap where it is at 342 billion. And of course, a lot of international variables come together to give us this number right here. But of course, it is interesting to pay attention to what's been happening in Asia and all across the world. On an international scale, we're really witnessing a significant paradigm shift when it comes to cryptocurrencies and the overall possibilities that are made possible by the technologies that have been really shaping the future that we're moving forward towards. So good times had by all. So all that being said, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Disclaimer, this video is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. And everything that I said in this video is entirely my opinion regarding Tron. And remember, it's important to do your own research when it comes to these technologies and staying up to date, which is why we shout out different YouTubers and share out different perspectives. And of course, recommend that you guys go and follow Tron on their verified accounts so that you can get your information directly from the source. And on top of everything, I'd also recommend that you guys follow our official Twitter at CryptoTuber, and I'll actually be including a link to the Twitter down in the description below. So if you guys are interested in connecting with us and sharing your opinion, we're always open to reading the messages and so forth and staying in connection with the community. I think that's a really important aspect of this, is sharing different people's opinions and you know, really expanding as far as knowledge goes. But remember, I'm not your dad. Ultimately, I can only recommend that you do your own research, and obviously I'm not your dad, like I said. But all that being said, I mean, when you talk about the news regarding Tron, a lot of really interesting things ahead for anybody who's been paying attention. And for those of us who've been involved with cryptocurrency for any amount of years, we understand how, I mean, just think about how far Bitcoin has come in such a short amount of time. A lot of different variables coming together and components in regards to the greater acceptance of cryptocurrency in the larger context of society and how we've been seeing these things developing in the public consciousness. But all that being said, remember to subscribe to the channel, of course, comment down below and connect with us on Twitter. And all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.